All right, guys, I want to thank you guys and welcome. Not very often I get to meet up with these guys that we're going to be bringing on, but they're serious go-getters, and I have a lot of appreciation for their forethinking, and they think a lot like me in reference to what's going on in our nation, our world, and how do we hedge against the issues and the problems. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a major event coming up. I have a feeling they're going to put Trump into office. Just my 2 cents. I'm going to lay it out for you. Do a little predicting. I thought there's no way Trump's going to get in the office, and then I had this serious shift in my thinking. He probably is, and they're going to do everything they can to make him a party to and reason for and or crash completely the economy. And I don't think it's going to be a good crash for America or the United States. I think we're going to be facing elements that we've never faced before as a people, and more so than ever. I know you guys have been hearing about gold and silver. I know you guys have been thinking about ways of asset protection. I'm going to tell you right now, I am not a financial advisor, but I was one for a lot of years, a long time ago. I'm also a broker by trade, but I've been telling my tens of thousands of members that you have to consider what's coming. And what is coming is a truck with a train behind it, and it's nothing like this country has ever experienced before. There's a complete and total global reset that is about to hit. And I really want you to grab onto the elements of what we need to be taking into consideration. And we're trying as his advocates to save you guys as much money as possible. And I think we did it with these guys. They've brought forth at cost metals, which is at cost metals, the ability to purchase at whatever the par value is. Now understand, and I'm going to let them explain the website, the opportunity, and the ability for you. Some of you guys are just going to get in, get your membership going, and start buying. But these two guys, Mike and Ricardo, are going to be explaining the entire program. But never before, guys, listen to me. You have retirements, you have annuities, you have bank accounts. Say goodbye. They're either going to hair clip them at 50%, 20%, 80%, doesn't matter what the hair clip is. You're going to take a hair clip, and they're going to say, by the way, in order for you to participate over here, you need this little thing inserted right here, or you need this over here to get permission, or you need to take the V or whatever. Why don't we protect our assets right now? So I'm going to bring on Ricardo and Mike, and I want to thank you guys for coming on. The element of asset protection against theft, of tyranny, of these countries masquerading companies, really bankrupted companies masquerading as countries. The United States, we know, as a corporation. It was bankrupted in 1933, and it made the people the surety and the collateral. And guess what? Your retirement, your income, your bank accounts are tied to that bankruptcy. So when the U.S. is fully taken over, whenever it's coming, they're going to hit the asset side of what you're holding, any of those digits, any of those deposits. And I don't think your UILs are protected. You may think so. I don't. If it's tied to your social security number, I think we need to be considering, how do we get precious metals in our hand, and how do we control those elements? Ricardo, Mike, I want to welcome you guys to the floor. Either one of you, take over.
Hey, good to be here, Kelby. Man, I'm excited to share this with everyone today. And Ricardo and I have just been super excited about gold and silver for over 5 years now. And we're always looking at the best place to get it for the lowest prices, the best quality. And we're excited to find something like this where we can literally get gold and silver at cost. Again, I've never seen anything like this in the precious metal space. My brother Ricardo Hamilton here, aka Mims, making it make sense, man. Are we ready to get going?
Yeah, and Kelby, you're spot on. I think that the time that we're in right now is the most significant time period ever in history. It'll be talked about for decades and centuries. And I tell people all the time, if you didn't come from a wealthy family, this is the opportunity to make sure that a wealthy family comes from you. And we're seeing some dynamics right now that make it so important that people hedge against the financial crisis, the inflation, and everything that's coming right now with real money, with God's money, physical silver and gold. And I get excited because we found literally, you know, the best company on the planet to get it, which is at cost. And that's huge, massive opportunity for people to save their money and acquire more metal. And so I'm excited to bring this to the community and help people, you know, preserve their wealth and save in real assets, real money, physical silver and gold.
You know, thank you for finding this company, guys. And you're right. I've been buying silver from the platforms you introduced me to for going over a year. I stopped doing that a month or two ago. I got my cards stolen in New York, on the streets of New York somehow. So wasn't able to re-up that. And then you came out last month and told me about this. I'm like, dang, let's do it. I actually, I want you to, I'm going to share the screen in a minute with you, and I'm just going to tell people, look, I've been buying silver and gold for years, and I've never seen anything like this. This is a presentation. I'm not blowing smoke. This is a very real deal, like where you can go online and you can Google spot price for silver or spot price for gold, and then you can go to at cost metals and you're right there. It blows my mind that I can go buy 100-ounce bar of silver and not pay what I used to, $300, $500, $100 for that bar right there in premium per bar. Yeah, you guys are making me jealous. Mine are safe at a different location. But per bar. And so I'm blown away by what you've discovered here. And so I want to give you two kudos. You're really thinking about not just our members, but your existing clientele. You're not just trying to blow smoke up their butt and make a premium, because I never understood those opportunities out there. How do you do a direct marketing or get a sales structure up and in place when you're selling gold? When I can go down the street, walk in a shop, pay 5% over, 10% over, and get myself a solid piece of gold. Well, you're doing the same, but even cheaper than down the street. So congratulations.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it. If you want to share my screen, we'll drop some knowledge for the...
Is that you?
Yes, that's it. So if you guys have been listening to Kelby and following him for a while, you probably know the state of the banking system, how much debt, the federal government has, how insolvent the banks are, and the FDIC. But we're just going to go over a couple things in case, you guys are new or maybe missed it. Mims, I'll kind of let you go over this, of just, the dollar creation that's happened since the pandemic.
Yeah, what we're seeing is now even, wealthy, influential people in the markets, Larry Fink, BlackRock, people are letting you know that the debt crisis is totally unsustainable. And that's because in the last 4 years, they printed more money than they ever have since the inception of this country. The debt is growing, and every 100 days, the national debt is increasing by $1 trillion. $1 trillion is added to the national debt every 100 days. Totally unsustainable. It's so bad now that the interest on the debt alone is almost $1 trillion. So we have literally a bubble. We have a debt crisis. There's a bubble in all markets, the real estate market, corporate bonds, personal debt. I mean, you name it. And so this dynamic here that we have of this massive exploding debt is creating an environment where people are realizing that they need to hedge against this and diversify against this massive money creation. And we're seeing even right now, gold is at an all-time high today as we're doing this recording. Gold is at an all-time high because people are starting to believe that the Federal Reserve will lower rates, creating more inflation, printing more money. And that is going to be very bullish for those of us who have those real assets, because we are watching the greatest reset in history. And as they print more money, you're seeing obviously the inflation in food and housing and a lot of the things that they don't count. But the inflation is making it harder and harder for people to maintain their status and standard of living. And that is a trend. That is something that's going to continue. And this is why it's so important that people understand that you save your money in physical silver and gold. You don't save it in dollars, because the dollar doesn't save value. And now with the Bank of International Settlements, making a gold a tier 1 asset, okay, and the Federal Reserve saying that they're going to comply with Basel III standards, okay, this is the case for gold. This is the case for silver. This is the case to hold these real assets. And so, these dynamics, Mike, are really just making more and more people realize just how bad the financial situation is and how important it is that they actually do have physical metals, physical silver and gold.
Yeah, when we first got started, just teaching people to save in real money, it was hard to teach people about inflation because they couldn't see it with their own eyes, right? But now we don't have to do that because everyone knows what inflation is now because they're seeing it and they're feeling it every single day. I mean, this is absolute crazy. For an individual to live comfortably in the United States, you need to make between 80 grand and 116. If you're talking about a family of four, you have to make 178,000 to 300,000 to live comfortably. Very few people can have a family of four are going to be able to make $178,000 a year. I mean, you're talking like the top 10% probably of people. So I just want to go back and I always ask this question. We're seeing banks all around the world buying the most gold and silver ever in the history of the world. If you guys don't
Well,
know the meme, money printer go burr, that is Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve. And you have to ask yourself, if central banks are buying the most gold and silver ever in the history of the world, what are you going to do? What options do you have? And it's not just central banks. We also have countries around the world. China is buying gold like there's no tomorrow. They're dumping their treasuries and their
they're
bonds
U.S.
from the United
treasuries.
States.
They're U.S. treasuries.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's an important thing to consider right now, because people all around the world. We've been living in this bubble. I was talking to my lady this morning, guys. There's wars all the time, all the time. Every single century, we have a ton of wars between countries. We've never had one here. We've never had a war other than a civil war, really, as a nation. Yes, revolutionary, but then we became a nation. Then we had the Civil War, basically, in the War of 1812. Those are really the only two. But since it's been World War One abroad, two abroad, Korean abroad, Vietnam abroad. Now we're facing World War III, and it's not just going to be based on, in my opinion, the elements that this nation has been in debt. And what people don't know is every nation has invested their birth bonds in through their corporations known as Australia Republic, for example, through the Securities and Exchange Commission. Now, what happens when the United States is bankrupt and everybody keeps depositing their assets into the bankruptcy? What happens is eventually they have to do what they're doing right now, which is increase the debt ceiling so big it's not recoverable. And they've already said it was not recoverable in 2005. And gold being a constant, silver being a constant, gold doesn't go up in value. Gold does not go up in value. What goes up or what goes down in value is the dollar, and what costs more to purchase that piece of gold now is like today $2,400 for a single ounce of gold. That is 500% increase in the last 25 years. What's it going to do in the next 25 years? Through a debt recycle, through a complete global collapse of every economy, but this one is going to take the major hit. What's going to go up the most in value? Gold, silver, food, crypto, anything that they're going to be using for the new financial system. So I'm really excited right here that you guys have figured this out and been able to help people to buy it at cost.
Yeah, and Ricardo, you want to hit real quick on just because a lot of people don't know this. I wouldn't know this if not for you, but maybe just talk about how gold and silver are, what does it mean that they're a tier one asset?
Yeah. So most people don't understand that the banking standards, the international banking standards that are set by the Bank of International Settlements, they are the central bank for central banks. Okay. So even the Federal Reserve is going to be complying with their standard and policy. And they have changed gold from a tier 3 asset to a tier 1 asset. So when we're looking at preserving our wealth, you don't want to have your wealth tied into speculative assets, something that can go down or you can lose value. You want something essentially with zero risk associated to it, where its value is established, and that's gold, right? Physical gold is a tier 1 asset. And when, like I mentioned earlier, with the Federal Reserve complying with Basel III standards, which were set by the Bank of International Settlements to make gold and silver gold a tier 1 asset, this is what you want to hold. During this time of financial crisis, and like Kobe was talking about, the wars and them monetizing the people and the debt system collapsing. I mean, these markets, derivatives market, the real estate market, the bond market, these markets are going to collapse. And what that means is when these markets collapse, the value of the money doesn't disappear. What happens is that it's going into risk off assets, physical silver and gold. And we're going to see a massive explosion in the value of them. And Kelby, said it perfectly, is that these assets aren't really increasing in value. It's just that the dollar is losing so much purchasing power that it costs more dollars to purchase that same asset.
No, 100%. And again, you guys got to remember that physical gold and silver are the only assets you can have with zero counterparty risk. So Kelby talks about this all the time, right? If it's in the bank, if it's in stock market, if it's, IUL, life insurance, those all have counterparty risk because you are depending on some sort of central, system to get, your money and your value. So, some people are waking up to this, so much so that Costco is now selling gold and silver. And they sold 100 million gold bars last quarter. And you can see here, even though Costco is known for their wholesale prices, we are beating them. This is an example. One of our team members bought these 10-ounce silver bars on the exact same day. And we saved about $50 on this 10-ounce bar by buying it at cost versus Costco. Even though those Costco people already paid for their membership, they're still overpaying for their gold and silver. And I know, Ricardo, maybe break it down of if this is obviously a hot commodity that people are now buying, and then we'll go into the details later, but maybe just talk about how everyone, when you become a member, are going to have your link to share with other people.
Yeah, so it's huge. The value that at-cost metals is doing in the precious metal space is totally revolutionary, something that's never been done before to get precious metals at cost. Every other company out there has to mark it up. Costco, the major online dealers, your local dealer down the street, they have to mark it up. They have to put a premium on them because that's how they make money. With at-cost metals, it's a membership model like Costco. And one of the major things that I love about this company, outside of us just getting metals at cost and beating everybody's prices, which is a phenomenal value, the only way you're going to get access to precious metals at cost is if you get the membership from somebody who's already a member. So like Costco, you can go straight to corporate or their website and get a Costco membership. Well, at At-Cost Metals, they wanted to reward their members for sharing their membership referral code with other members to get access to this value. And that creates a phenomenal cash flow opportunity for members of At-Cost Metals who take it seriously like a business to actually share the value of getting precious metals, silver and gold at cost and creating some serious passive residual income in the process.
No, absolute fire, man. And, that's what we're about, is helping people create that cash flow and get real assets. So guys, why precious metals? They hold real tangible value. They're time tested from the times of Egypt. They hedge against inflation. They're easily explainable. They're stable during, uncertain times, which we're definitely in right now. And they're the best product to be garage qualified with. What that means is, if you're going to buy something and have a business, what's better than the real money business? So we offer the same bars and coins you can find, at your local dealership or any of the big retailers online. We're going to do a live price comparison here soon. We have over 100 options, all the popular coins, that you would want to get. This is an example from the good old days a couple months ago when silver was below $30. So you can see here, this is, just a sampling of different companies. But typically, you're going to save about 12 to 20% once you become an at-cost member. So now what I want to do is actually compare the at-cost metals prices to 4 different online companies in real time today, guys. And we have been doing this for the last 60 days, every day when we go live. Okay. And not once have they ever come close to beating us. So let me just educate people if they don't understand how, the pricing for gold and silver works. So you can see today the gold ask and the silver ask, okay, 24.77 and 31.49. That's also known as the spot price, okay? So this is the fake paper trading price that the banks rig these at, okay? So this silver and gold really aren't a free market right now. But these
And that's
prices can go up and down.
That's a discussion point right now because, and I totally want you to finish, but the reality is the suppression of gold and silver and their valuation right now is unreal. And that's why the banks are buying it up like crazy right now, because they know it's about to shift, because many of these central banks are going to need to ride on those assets to be able to have liquidity for their, and so they're going to convert like XRP, XLM, these coins that are super low in value right now, which is a whole nother show that we can do together. But do the same for gold, silver, real hard assets that would make their portfolio look that much better, because they're walking away from screwing everybody over and coming out with these quote unquote new institutional names, and then all of a sudden things are going to revalue like this and go through the roof so that they can have liquidity and be able to loan money to their clients. But go ahead.
No, 100%. And this, I get passionate about this, so I'm gonna get a little nerdy here. The rise or the price increase we're seeing in gold and silver right now is nothing, and it's not coming from retail like you and I and the people buying at Costco. This is coming from industrial use. If you guys don't know, silver has over 10,000 uses, specifically in electric vehicles, lithium batteries. The big one right now is solar panels. China and India are buying up gold and silver like never before. And basically they're just saying, well, if the West and the big banks are going to rig the price down, we're going to get as much of it as we can. So that's why this price increase has happened. So the ask or the spot price is, again, what's manipulated, but typically what you're going to do is you're going to have to pay what's called a premium to get actual real physical silver. So when you see that price online or on any website, that doesn't mean you can actually get the real physical product. And as they become more and more scarce, those premiums typically go up because they can't keep things in stock. So let's get to this price comparison here. And I'm going to do the silver maple leaf. I think that's the best bang for your buck. So if you are just getting started in this space, I would stick to the Canadian silver maple leafs because they're from an actual government. So they're a little more verifiable. And their premiums usually aren't as bad. US Silver Eagles premiums typically tend to be more. So at cost metals today, we can get a Canadian silver maple leaf for $33.47. Okay, I want you guys to remember that. If you're watching this on a live stream or on his YouTube, type that in the chat. $33.47. JM Bullion. If you're paying with a card, which is what most people do, actually they don't even have these right now. But you're going to pay $40.05. Okay, and I have my percentage calculator up here. So that is a 16.4% difference. $33.47 of that cost, $40.05 with JM Bullion. So I think that's about, if you buy 5 coins or silver maple leafs, you're going to basically get one for free because you're saving almost $7 every ounce of silver you buy with that cost metals. And you can see here, even if you bought 500 of these from JM Bullion and you paid with a check wire, you're still paying $37.45. Even if you're buying tens of thousands of, product from them, you're saving $3 an ounce with us. We do this all day. We can go to SD Bullion that claims to have the lowest prices, period. That is not true. Let me get rid of this thing. All right, their card price is $36.80. Even if you pay with a check and wire, it's $35.33. So again, we're beating them by $4. We can go to goldandsilver.com, and they're wanting $37.71. So again, we're beating them by about $4. Those of you that are into gold, I usually compare this right here, this Canadian gold maple leaf, half ounce, okay, $12.92 today at cost metals.
Half
We can
an
go to
ounce.
JM Bullion. They want 1540 with a card, and even with the e-check wire, 1479. That's a 12%
That is
difference.
literally almost a $200 difference on one coin,
Yeah,
and that pays your membership.
you took the words
That,
right out of my mouth, Kelby.
that pays your membership. Just
Yep.
one coin, a
That
half
was on
ounce of gold, and then
half
from
ounce.
that point forward, you've got a buy rate at cost. How can you beat this?
No, 100%. You buy a half ounce of gold, you're already gonna, that covers the cost of your membership. Mims.
There is no cost to the membership. You're already doing it. Everybody out there is already doing it. All you're doing is shifting to at cost. And that one more time that you got to pay the membership fee for that life or whatever it is annually. And you have the rights to purchase at cost forever. I mean, I'm really excited. So
Yeah, and Ricardo always says, like, that's it. Like, that's the presentation. Like, get your link from Kelby and get as much gold and silver as you can. You can't find a
just
better
put the link
price.
in the
You just
description
can't.
below. Guys, I really appreciate you guys coming. I don't think there's a whole lot to share here other than what you've already done. And what else do you guys do that you can share? At least maybe not now in its entirety, but what else are you doing on the crypto side still?
Well, that was kind of joking there, Kelby. We're going to go into actually now how people can create cash flow from gold and silver. Because here's the thing, right? If I just go out and buy this, 100-ounce bar, and let's say it doubles in price, okay, cool. It goes from 3,200 to 6,200. But in order to get cash out of this, I'm going to have to sell the asset. I don't want to have to sell assets. I want to keep stockpiling as much as gold and silver, but also obviously we need to live and have cash flow. So because of this affiliate membership model, I think you guys see the value in the membership. You're going to save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. We do have the ability to pay with crypto. You want to add something, Mims?
No, I was just saying you're 100% right. Go ahead. You're doing great.
Yeah, and we're going to be adding more. We're really wanting to get it, to XRP, even though I don't like to sell crypto, but we do take Dogecoin and Litecoin right now, credit and debit cards, and we also added Pay Quicker, which is the best way to do it. So once you guys do get your membership, you'll get a Pay Quicker debit card where you can ACH money in. So that way you're not paying, a credit card processing fee. So if that makes sense and you should be saving real money every month, why not help others do the same and create cash flow? So that's what we're going to talk about right now. And again, this is completely optional. You are not ever required to buy anything. Once you get your membership, no minimums, no maximums. We keep it really simple. We have two package offerings. Okay. You have your basic package called the metals package. That's $149 for an entire year. So you're going to get 12 months of unlimited at cost pricing. We're also going to be having a Mims. Do you want to maybe touch on the DApp trading vault that's going to be coming out soon?
Yeah, so this membership and what At Cost Metals is doing, literally, like I said, is revolutionary. It's never been done in the precious metal space. So not only are we able to get physical silver and gold at cost with this membership, but they also have this DApp trading vault. So what this is, it's the digital and physical vault. So of course, if you want your metals stored, our vaulting partner is Brinks. So that's a household name, well respected. If you want your metals stored, it's Brinks. Now the digital side to this vault, we actually have a partner where you can take any dollar amount that you have and put it in the digital vault. And what happens is that dollar amount is adjusting with the value of gold and silver. So it's allowing you to leverage the gains or the fluctuations of gold and silver in the market, and you will see that dollar amount fluctuate in your account. And so over time, that digital dollar amount that you put in your account, you can press a button and sell that and move that money back to your bank. You could press a button and have that money and buy more metal. But I want you to think about your checking or your savings account. Imagine if that account adjusted with the value or the percentage gains of gold and silver on the market, and you realize that over time, you have more money in your account. And any point in time that you want, You can take, sell that, move that money around, buy more metal with it. So that DAP vault is huge. It's a phenomenal value. That value is actually about $200 a year for that service. That comes included in the 149 membership. And just like Kelby had mentioned earlier, and we showed, if you're buying a half ounce of gold from At Cost Metals, that's already paid for your membership for the whole year. You're getting metals at cost, and you have the ability to utilize that DAP trading vault, which I think is huge, because it's going to allow you to save your money in physical silver and gold, but also have that dollar amount adjust in the digital account, and you can sell it and move it at any time.
And you brought up a good point I forgot to mention, Ricardo, is so people always say, well, how is At Cost able to get these amazing prices, lower than all the other places? It's because our overhead is so low. So At Cost doesn't have their own safe or their own building. They have partnered with Brink's vaults that are all around the world. So they're kind of like drop shipping gold and silver. So when you go to order something on the website, that's going to ship directly from Brink's to your door. So that's how they are able to keep the overhead so low. And again, they don't have to pay for advertising. If you go online, once you search gold and silver, you're going to see advertisements all over, Google. So those companies are paying for advertisement. They're paying overhead. They're paying for, physical, places to store these metals. We don't have to do that. So that's how we're able to, pay us, the members, versus paying for advertisement. Now, what Ricardo and I got was a $399 Metals Plus package. That's going to give you 18 months of membership, unlimited At Cost, the DAP vault, and then you're also going to get 3 MS70 Silver Eagles with that. All right. So if you guys don't know, these are what is called numismatic or collectible coins. They are perfectly struck and graded by a third party called NGC. They are now pieces of artwork. They're very rare and limited and can tend to go up over time more than just your physical silver or gold bullion. So we recommend, doing both. Typically I go like 90% bullion, 10% collectible, but that's totally up to you guys. This is an optional. If you are going to build a business, this is essentially it. You buy one of these a month, and then you have the ability to share and earn income with anyone that you share this with.
That was great, man. That is great. You made it make sense. So after 18 months, it's another same membership fee, and you get another 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or you can, again, when your membership's up, you can choose the 149 or the 399, whatever you want to do.
Right. So you get an extra 6 months. That's an extra whatever, and plus the 3 coins. It makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
Those coins are $75 each. So.
That's huge. I like the opportunity to keep it in a vault too. I do worry about having my stuff in somebody else's hands. I haven't quite learned how to trust that element yet. You know what I mean? But you always hear those stories of people buying a house.
No. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you always hear the stories of somebody that buys a house and they do a renovation and they find 3,000 or 4,000 silver coins from a 1930s box, because somebody buried it and died or had a heart attack, and that's something to consider too, because, next of kin didn't know where it was. They just went in, emptied the house out, he did the right thing. He hid it and buried it, and he didn't tell anybody, unfortunately. And that's what everybody's doing on their crypto now too. And these guys know that, you get your hard wallets, you put it in your pocket. You don't share the words. You don't share the passwords with anybody, including your spouse. And it's like a fear thing, because what do? You write it down. What if somebody finds it? Then they restore it and they have your wealth, so these are all real concerns and things that we should be considering for ourselves, so that we can hedge against any one of these things. I don't want the revaluation to happen. Me all of a sudden be presiding over billions of dollars, which I think is going to happen for everybody, and for everybody that's in the know, the 1% now. You guys realize, and I know the entire world are even getting involved in the crypto community. And so when you start thinking about those numbers, it's like, does that mean when the shift happens, we are the new 1%?
I believe so.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
So they're going to be, I always tell the story. I had opportunity to buy $30,000 in Bitcoin in 2012. $300 million today, guys. I didn't take it. I didn't take it. So we today need to be hedging, and I think gold is going to go up maybe as much as 20 times its value today over the next 10, 15 years. I think silver is going to do even better. And we're going to have to take into consideration, what do you do with that? Do you just hold on to it? Do you get loans against it? What are the opportunities? Like XRP, they're going to, utilizing the liquidity, you can take some XRP and you can put it on an exchange account, lock it down, and they can give you, 5 to 10 to 15% rate of return on your money annualized or whatever it is. And you're sitting there making money month after month after month, going straight into your USDT or whatever the Ripple stablecoin is. Name the Ripple stablecoin, by the way.
Yeah. Would you say that last part?
Well, our connection today sucks. What did they name the Ripple stablecoin?
RL USD, I believe. The real USD.
Real USD.
RL. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I believe that's what it is.
Yeah, that's amazing. Guys, thank you so much. Any closing thoughts?
No, I would just say, just start and just set goals for yourself. So when I first started, I wanted to get 100 ounces of silver. Then my next goal was to get 1,000. And now my next goal is to get 10,000. So just, don't get overwhelmed. Even if you just start with 1 ounce. That's how I started. I started with 1 ounce of silver a month. That was it. And then I started sharing it with people. Then I was able to take that income that I got from sharing it with other people and start to buy more gold and silver. So it's just get started, just take action. Today, grab Toby's link down below and, just start stacking, guys. And there's a whole freedom aspect to this as well. I think this is the only way we can really pull wealth out of the system and secure it for ourselves. And it really is the only real, physical, tangible money. And until we as people rise up and start pulling that out, like I said, China and India are, I mean, the prices of gold and silver right now are just stupidly suppressed. I mean, they're on sale regardless of where you're getting them from. We're just getting them on like a double sale by using at-cost metals.
Yeah. This is the time. This is how you hedge. This is how you build wealth. Everything with at-cost metals, with their vaults, fully insured, even against acts of terrorism.
Our connection